How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse. Today I'm here with Rowan, Senior Product Manager at adidas Terrex. Today we are going to be getting the exclusive first look at the Agravic Speed Ultra 2. This was the shoe that really started it all in the super shoe space in the trails. We've seen so many fantastic shoes on the roadside, but when this shoe came out, I think a lot of trail runners started to see that you could get those performance benefits on uneven terrain. Now a few years have passed, we've got a complete revamp from top to bottom. Tell us about this shoe and how it's going to continue to elevate the Agravic Speed line.
Yeah, thank you. So I guess it's worthwhile talking about the history of the shoe. We started with Tom Evans winning the Western States with this guy right here, the original Agravic Speed Ultra. And from there, we really focused on having the fastest super shoe for flow trails, for the faster trails, and really concentrated on ultra distances with 100K plus, focused on downhill speed, focused on energy return, and really looking to simply build the biggest platform we could for speed shoes for trails.
And you had such a great recipe here with version 1. It really didn't need huge updates, but now looking at version 2, we see refinements that are built to give you better traction, better energy return. Maybe guide us through each portion of this shoe and how it's going to continue to be even faster.
Yeah. So with the original Speed Ultra, we really focused on the pinnacle razor edge shoe. You know, we wanted this shoe to be a stake in the ground, a real statement of what we could do and something that to launch us onto the trail running stage. So with the Speed Ultra, we know there's always opportunity for improvement, always opportunity for optimization, and that's what we've got here. So going through some of the changes from what we have, starting from bottom to top, we start with having an updated outsole, updated rubber here, and we really focused on just adding a little bit more flexibility to the shoe. So we know the original intention was flow trails, Western States type terrain, but then we saw our athletes and also normal athletes out there using the shoe for different terrains. So we just really leaned into that and increased the length, the lug length slightly, 0.5 mil. And then also redesign some of the middle foot traction lugs there as well. So just adding a little bit more versatility to the shoe.
Yeah, and when you take a look at the original, the lugs really aren't long. Like you said, they're built for a little bit more of those smooth trails. And I think that goes to show athletes really like this shoe so much that they were taking it on more technical trails. They wanted to see how far they could push it. So now with a little bit more aggressive lugs, you're gonna be able to take it on a wider variety of trails. Traction is a huge component to the trail shoe, but with a super shoe, what also is important is the foam. We saw the Light Strike Pro in version 1. Do we still have Light Strike Pro in version 2?
We do. We have Light Strike Pro, but we have an updated version of it. So this Light Strike Pro is actually softer, which is a feedback point that we really took on board. The foam's generally getting softer and softer, and over 100 miles, you want something that's really forgiving. So slightly softer, but with that, we're actually seeing the benefit of more energy return. I'd love to show you the graphs there. It's genuine that we've got more energy return with this softer foam, and we really have tested this as well to make sure this softer foam is also capable on the trails. The danger with going with softer foam is going to get shredded as soon as you hit a rock, but we're very confident with this foam.
Right, and with softer foam, you might also worry about stability. You know, trail surfaces are uneven. With testing version 1 versus version 2, was stability pretty in line?
Yeah, I mean, we know this shoe is not the most stable. We really focusing on being dynamic and fast with this shoe, so there's some sacrifices there with stability. So that was a big focus for us, to make sure whatever changes we do, we're still keeping the stability that we've got with the original. So we've tested this with our athletes, with our 42 Terrex athlete trail running team. We've tested with our internal testers, and everyone's saying it's just as good as the original in terms of stability.
And with softer foams, lower diameter foams, what keeps it stable is the energy rod setup. Do we still have the same rod setup in version 1 versus version 2?
Yeah, we do. We decided to keep the rods, and that was a deliberate decision there, because the rods, we spent a lot of time tuning the rods to have the right amount of flexibility as well as the right amount of stability. And we've kept that because we found that that combination is working just as well with this slightly softer foam.
Right, and that flexibility makes sense on the trails because with varying terrains, you don't want a stiff carbon plate.
Exactly.
You need something that can adapt with the surfaces around you. Now, moving on up to the upper, the first thing that stands out to me is the aggressive, fast design. Tell us about the upper and what's changed.
Yeah, so we've spent a lot of effort on the upper, and this is one of the improvement points that we really wanted to focus on, was improving the fit, improving the contour of the material to the foot, and generally making sure we're doing a comfortable package because you're going to be in that shoe for many, many hours. So with the upper, I think maybe the biggest visual difference here that you see is we've brought the three stripes onto the lateral side here. So we're really connecting with our road running companions here in adidas, or adidas. And we're really conscious of like making sure that we're speaking the same language. So we're saying if you love adidas for the road, then we've got the trail options for you as well. So that's the main visual update, I'd say, the big stripes, big bold stripes on the lateral side, but then a lot of performance updates as well. So maybe starting with the material itself, we've concentrated on really having that drapeability, making sure that the material is able to contour to the foot. We've increased the size, the width of the laces. So again, with the feedback, we heard the laces are a little thin. The pressure points are a little can be a little localized. So we really kind of just beef those up, and they feel great. So the lockdown is improved. So medial, lateral lockdown with the laces, with the construction, certainly improved there. We've also reduced the reinforcement. So if you can compare the shoes, the reinforcement's really reduced to allow that conforming, but also we're saving a lot of weight with that as well. And then the heel is really a big focus for us. So internally, we've increased the heel pods, so that heel hold is much better. And then externally, we've had the inspiration from our road running colleagues is that slingshot that comes from Adizero. So that's really pulling that heel in, really hugging the sides of the heel while leaving the Achilles free to move as it is intended to.
Now, from a midsole perspective, this shoe really is one of the craziest shoes on the market, and you see these extremely high sidewalls. That helps with that inherent stability, but you really sit within the shoe. Can you talk about the sidewalls on this shoe and how it works to really complete the system?
Yeah, so I think the best way to show is our exploded components here. So obviously starting with our Continental outsole, superior grip with our partners from Continental, and then we have our 2 layers of Lightstrike Pro. So if we pull this apart slightly, we have our ground contact Lightstrike Pro here, really taking up all the impacts from the ground, from the rocks. We have the energy rods providing that spring that you need back. And then we have the top layer of our Lightstrike Pro. And worth mentioning once more is we've updated this Lightstrike Pro to that softer, more energy return material that we've got now in Spring Summer 26. Of course, on top of that, we have the upper and we've got our lightweight sock liner. Also, just a quick mention, we've got a molded sock liner this time around, just to bring in a little bit more comfort, a little bit more stability.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, this is a race day shoe. This is a speed shoe. It's built to go fast. It's built to go far. And, you know, looking at version 2, it looks like this shoe continues to be the fastest trail shoe on the market. I'm sure we'll see it on the feet of pros. We've already seen some camouflage pairs on athletes at UTMB. For people looking to try this shoe out for themselves, when can they have it?
So we'll have a limited launch in December, and then the major retail release is February next year.
Well, perfect. If you're looking to try out the Agravic Speed Ultra 2, you'll be able to find it here at Running Warehouse.